Sorry about that. Got a little distracted. But YouTube's up and going now.
It's a little nippy out there.
Yeah, it's still pretty cold.
51, but it is so nippy.
Again, I haven't taken any SPY Super System trades today yet. This was a decent one right here. I haven't taken any of these things. Price action was just not conducive here, but now we can see we're getting a little bearishness now in the triple Qs. 503.05 is the support level on the Qs. SPY doing the same thing. Very choppy. Welcome to the YouTubers. Sorry I got started a little bit late today. I lost track of time, was doing some trades. We put we did buy spots and puts in GES, and we did a strangle on Signet. Took a nice profit on STZ strangle from overnight. That worked out nicely. Get in for 380, 370 to 380, out for 480 this morning. No SPY. I have not taken any SPY Super System trades off of the IWM SPY or Qs yet today. We've had a couple of setups, but this price action has been gapped up, and we just kind of been pulled back and just chopping right here. So I don't really have a very warm, fuzzy feeling about direction that we're going to take on the SPY, or the Qs for that matter. Qs looking exactly the same. IWM has been outperforming, but it's now it's kind of falling apart. You notice it's going down into trying to do a gap fill here to the downside. It's actually a good IWM short setup as it comes off the 15 right here. I missed it, but this was a good short setup on the IWM. Got support at 217.95, so pretty close, about 50 cents. That's a horizontal support. It's moving down to toward the 200-day moving average, though. If it gets back up to the 15 here and heads back down again, I might take some puts in it. There isn't a lot of room on it, though, to the downside. And you know, you're sure to get you're trading against the trend for it. It's up to the day. Green by about 0.5%. but it did run right into the 8 exponential moving average on the daily chart. So it ran right into resistance. Got quite a few horizontal support and resistance levels though. So this was one you have to be careful of if you take it. Highs and Qs moving right back up toward the 15. SPY sitting right on the 100-day moving average here. Pretty strong support on the SPY right here on the 100-day. Can't take it short here. Not off the 100. Again, here's the 100 on the TC2000 daily chart here. See that blue line? It's 100-day moving average. See, we got above it yesterday. Gapped up this morning, right to that resistance level, and then we pulled right back down to the 100 again. We're not going anywhere. Q's got a resistance. It's on a resistance right here. It's got support here, and here's your 50 right here, and there's the 8 right there. A lot of resistance clustered above. And there's the IWM. Moved right up to the 8 this morning, and then pulled right back to that support level. Kind of tough to trade any of these indexes right now. They've got support and resistance close by. SPY right at the 100. Gary, how does Palantir look for long to the VWAP? For long to the VWAP? Well, let's take a look at Palantir. All right, there's Palantir. Okay, so this is what you're talking about, bouncing up here to the VWAP. But let's switch over to the daily chart for a second and see what we see. You see this 50-day moving average right here? That's pretty tight against that resistance right there. That is the 50-day moving average. It's basically, it can run up to that, which is at, where is it? Let me see. 67.38 would be the 50 if it bounced up to the 50. But if you're trading against the trend here. SPY right below the 100 now.
On HLN on this volume down tick talk, Pfizer planning to sell some Helion shares, HLN.
Gary, that's why you asked me. Just, make sure you look at your daily charts, even when you're going to trade an intraday. See where they are on the daily chart relative to support and resistance to see how much room you've got. The SPY is just sitting just below the 100-day moving average right now. And again, Palantir is got the 100-day just above where it is right now. Not a lot of room. Larry, Fibonacci candle's getting longer. This SPY put below the 50-day. This is a tempting one right here on the SPY for the short side because it's below the 100 right now, and that could be your stop if you take it short here. again, this SPY put, again, I'm looking at the daily chart, and the 100-day moving average on the SPY right now is 580.99, basically 581. So that would be, if it stays below 581, it stays below the 100-day moving average, and it's got room all the way down to 575 here now, which would be just about yesterday's low, by the way. So it's a decent short coming off of the 15 right here. Again, you've got 580 above as a resistance level, which would be back to the 100-day moving average. If it touches it, 581 basically is the 100-day. So that would be, to me, that would be your stop on the trade, which is going to take you right up pretty close to the 15. I would just use the 15 for a stop. I did take some SPY puts here. I want to see if I get any kind of runway to the downside. It's breaking below the 100. I'm going to keep them on a pretty tight leash. I bought the 580 puts, expiring today for $1.33. They're $1.52 right now. I'm going to take them off as quick as they start to, as soon as they start to move the other direction. Got to keep a pretty tight leash on these things. I get a sell order at 163 on these. See, they're coming up with a pivot point now. Just watching them. Again, 163 I got for sell order on them. Again at 133. If it bounces off this pivot point, I'm going to take them off. They're at 160 right now. I don't have much more room to the downside. There they go. All right, so I'm out of that SPY. Super system trade right there. All right, so again, this is the way I read this sideways move. But what I was looking at on the SPY is I was looking at the daily chart to make sure that I had some runway on this. Now, okay, here's the daily chart. See how it broke below the 100-day moving average right there? So this is the area that would have been my stop. I got it after it broke down below there. So that was my daily chart. That's how I was looking at for the short side. Now over here on the SPY super system, I was looking here on this 15. I was looking for a break below the 15 right here, which it did. It was red already. It was already selling, and I took it. And I had a pivot point, which was also a level that I wanted to take a stop on. So I got in at 133, out 163. Made $30 the contract on a pretty nice trade. And it's still going right here, but I'm out of it. And these can be fairly quick. You got to manage them. But that worked out nicely. Might keep going a little bit more, but I found it's in this kind of market it's best not to be too greedy, especially when you're right on a pivot point there. Trading at about $1.75 right now, so I could have squeezed out another dime out of this thing.
On RGTI, speaking at the Needham Cup.
All right, so I'm out of that trade. I'll watch again for any more re-entries, but that was a nice trade. Again, 2 candles. I like the fact that it broke below the 100 on the daily chart was to me was interesting. Was a decent setup. Again, the SPY is down below the 100-day moving average. Trying to see if this pivot point offers support.
Are circulating a earlier article out by Microsoft Blog titled 2025 the year to become quantum ready.
Alright, still looking at VRNA, Verna. Yeah, nice move up in Verna today. Fibonacci candles getting larger. I think I already mentioned that, yeah. Let me see what the Fibonacci look like. Yep, nice move in that Verna. Okay, so I'm out of the SPY super system trade here. I just did one $30 a contract. I'm out. It's sitting right on the pivot point. Pivot point typically offers some support, so I'm okay with that to be out of there right now. Yeah, the super system trade, you know, we use the 15 and the VWAP, and we use our current time frame momentum. That's what we use. Those are the keys. But you also have to be aware of price action, and you got to be aware of support resistance levels on the daily chart, because there's all of those things come into play. So there is some nuances in this system, but it's working really, really well. I only had one trade yesterday for $50 a contract. One trade today for $30 a contract. Again, you know, 10 contracts is $500 yesterday, $300 today. But that's you know, that's what the market's given us. That's it. Here's the SPY right here, so notice how we filled the gap to the downside. Filled right to the 100, right to the pivot point. And again, I took my profits right there. Could keep going down, but I'm trying to err on the side of caution here, because I don't trust the market at all. Triple X holding up okay today, up about 1.39%. CLS went right to 104.92, which a resistance pulled off back a little bit, but still up $2 today, trading at 102.60. Need a little bit more of a move in this thing. Q's also kind of following the SPY here, fell below the pivot point. They're kind of on support too. 503.05 is support on the SPY, on the Q's. VKTX still coming in. Again, I did a debit spread on that thing. Put debit spread 35.32. 35.32. Try to bounce a little bit here. And we've got a strangling SIG, which is down to 35.01. Right, so our SIG was sorry, 55.03. So we've got a 55 put. So we're just now going into the money on the short side. So for us to make quick money on this today, we needed to continue to the downside. It's trading exactly at 55 right now. The strangle is going for, we paid 235 for it, it's going for 235. Let's see, got more questions over here. Oh, Jonathan, nice trade. Yeah, it was a good trade on the SPY super system. Girl, what are my thoughts on IONQ short? Well, let's look at it. So this is what I see in IONQ. So we had this big move down in IONQ, and this is a horizontal line here that's based on high volume candles, right? So it goes way back. There was big high volume candles way back here. So that's the support level right there. So that for me, it would need to get below that $26.99. About $27 and close below that. Because see, we break through it on here, and it went right back up again. I need to see it close below that $26.99, about $27. We need to close below there, and then I would have some room right down here to the 100-day moving average, down around 21. That's how I see it. All right, that's how I view INQ. I'm not touching it here. It's stuck between these two horizontal support and resistance lines. It's got resistance up here at the 50 and support down here at the 100, but it's got to break through that line first. You're welcome on the answer to that. IONQ. Lots and lots of people in the room today. Appreciate that. Appreciate all of the support here. Appreciate all the call-outs and the comments. It's a big help when everybody's looking for those high probability trades and pointing them out. That GES we've got, that came out of one of the members' call-outs this morning. So again, I had one SPY super system trade today so far. SPY to the short side as it broke below the 100-day on the daily chart. I took it off when it got down here and started hovering around the pivot point. Now it's broken below it again. So of course I could have taken more profits in it if I waited it out there, but I'm not anxious to do that. But it's down below the 100. It's got support now at 575.83. 575.83. So some still significant downside to the SPY from here. This is in the, let me show you, this is in the gap. Okay, this is the gap that was caused after the election. This big gap here, this was the bottom of the gap, this is the top of the gap. All right, so see that strong white line there, it broke down, it held for a good long time, and then it broke down here, and then yesterday we got down through the 100, bounced off of this level right here, which is the opening of that gap. Right, so this is the gap, so now it's right inside of there. So this is where you're trading inside of this gap right here, and now we're down below the 100. So now you get room down to here, to once at 575.83 or so. But it's a little risky because you got the 100 right here, and will this 100 offer support? Notice it broke through it yesterday and then pulled back and climbed up above it. Then we gapped up this morning right to that resistance line, and now we're coming back down toward the support line. So that's what I see on the daily chart on the SPY. Triple Qs, not quite so obvious. It's much tighter spread. You've got the 100 here, and you've got the 50 right up here. So it's kind of in no man's land. You notice that it's trading right between those two horizontal support and resistance lines right there. So kind of tough to take it right here. Unless it breaks down, then you get some room down here to the 100. Right, so that's about 497 from 502, about 5 points. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Looking for the setups, looking to see what kind of room I've got on these things. There's the SPY continuing to break down here now. And now it's got room to 575.83. Some decent sized room, but I'm not going to chase it here. I typically don't trade off the pivot point. I use it for a support resistance, but I don't trade off of it. You could trade off of it if you wanted to, and then use that as your stop. But it's not as strong a level as the VWAP or the 15. Market coming in. I guess trying to come down. See, kind of flattening out a little bit here. We're in the money on a 55 put. But not by much. GES trading at 1267. Support 1222, so it's still got 40 cents to the downside. VKTX still coming in. There's a nice call out today. And what I recommended on that was a debit spread. 35, buy the 35 puts and sell the 32 puts expiring this week. Put debit spread. 35 put you buy, 32 put you sell, expiring January 17th. It was going for about $85 to $90 a contract, 85 to 90 cents a contract. It's going for $1.05 right now.
On ex-US deal, talked at the CEO said that they have we got a financing of approximately $8 billion for the deal that's come from Semaphore.
see if we get any questions here. I'm just kind of watching the market. It's getting a little bit choppy. BKTX coming in pretty nicely here. SPY bouncing back up again now. So is the Q. See if the SPY goes up and touches 100 again. VKTX still coming down. Trading at 34.54. Again, that was the one I recommended. A put debit spread on 35.32. It was about a 90. What was it? VKTX. About 90 cents, $90 a contract. It's going for 97 right now. I got a sell order on it, by the way, at $1.20. Looking to take 30 cents on that, be about 30% on that put debit spread on VKTX. You don't make as much early in the week on the debit spreads as you do later in the week, assuming they move in your favor. market flattening, just generally just flattening right now. Again, SPY came down through the 100-day moving average on the daily chart. And just kind of hovering partially into yesterday's candle right now, but it's got room down to 575 now, and the upside is to the 100. So I'm not going to touch it right here. About 20 past 12. I'm going to get lunch here in about 10 minutes. So I'm drifting back up again now. Room to the VWAP. Remember the SPY on the daily. Remember where your 100-day moving average is. Alright, because it's at about 581. Again, this to move to the upside, you've got this, but the 100-day is between the current price and the 15 here and the VWAP. The right in here is the 100-day moving average. Netflix setting up for a short. Again, it has earnings on the 21st, so not that far away. Next week, but it is a short setup here, kind of a doji sandwich, moving down toward the 100-day moving average. Pretty good short setup on Netflix. Just you don't have a lot of time on this thing. Earnings on the 21st. If you take the expiration on the 24th, you got to get out before earnings. You're going to pay more for the premium, but it'll hold the premium because that's premium that's in there because of the earnings coming out. Yeah, morning, George. How are you doing over there in the YouTube area? Again, I'm looking at Netflix for potential put debit spread on this thing. They got earnings on the 21st, so and they're pretty expensive for the actual puts. So I'm looking for an 830, 820 put debit spread. I like to put debit spread on Netflix. They aren't cheap. The 830, 820s, that's a $10 spread. I'm going for about $3.90 right now. $3.90. It's slightly in the money on the or out of the money on the 830 side, about $1. But it's got room down to the 100, which is about $7.92. So it's got quite a lot of room to get down to 820. And you know, if you can get that for $3.90, that's basically 39 cents on a $10 spread. It's you know, not 3 to 1, but it's about 2.5 to 1. It's pretty good. coming in here. Again, I like a debit spread on Netflix. SPY's coming in. SPY is back down below the 100-day moving average. Again, this 100-day moving average is right around 581. That was up in here. And SPY's coming back down again now. 575.83 is support. 575.83. I'm not touching this particular trade right here. But it is coming off the 15. It is the SPY super system setup. As you can see, we're going short here. So it's yellow. We're getting a momentum is bearish and it's breaking down. So you could take this trade. You could take this trade. You'd kind of like to see it break down below this bottom right here. VKTX, I just took profits in VKTX. Again, I had that spread on for $90 the contract, and I just took it off for $120. Again, I was happy with that, 30%. It might keep on going, but VKTX, a nice short setup. Called out in the room, really a nice one. VKTX, still in GES short. It's still drifting down, and the strangle on SIG, not doing too much right now. Trading around 55, of course, trading in our short put. Again, I took profits in VKTX. Get in for 90, out for $1.20 on that put debit spread. 35.32. Still coming in. Market getting pretty weak here. SPY still back down below the 100-day again now, with support at 575.83. But for 3.5 points to the downside. VKTX still coming in. I took profits on this already. I had the 35.32 put debit spread expiring Friday. And I did take a put debit spread in Netflix as well. Again, I took my VKTX put debit spread off for in for 90, out for 120, 30%. That's fine for me for a debit spread on a Tuesday. That works fine. Watching the SPY. Again, down below the 100-day moving average again now. 575.83 is support. 100 days resistance. 100 days around 581. Right off around this pivot point, it's just chopping back and forth around the pivot point. Again, I'm gonna get something to eat here. It's about 12:40, so I'm getting pretty hungry. Alright, gonna go ahead and shut down the YouTube feed as we get ready to go to lunch. Thanks everybody for being here today in the YouTube feed. I appreciate it. Be back here again tomorrow. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Back here again tomorrow around 11:15. I was a little late getting started this morning. It was kind of busy, but having a decent day today. Again, the market's again drifting lower today. Market, the SPY's back below the 100-day moving average, so that's a very critical level for the SPY. It pulled above it yesterday, gapped up above it today, right to the 8 exponential moving average, and now it's back down below the 100 again. So you have to lean a little bit short right now in the market. Q's also now down about 0.5%. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get something to eat. Thanks to TGLU. Appreciate it. Thanks all the YouTube folks for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and end the broadcast. We'll see everybody